Hello, welcome to our first live stream for this initiative. My name is Lucas with 45B, and we're going to be, this is the fifth meeting that we do on the Grassroots Support Initiative, and we have some people to come up and give you an update on what we've been doing and hopefully welcome more communities to start meeting with us and collaborating on this front. So let me just invite Mark to come up. Hello, Mark. Welcome.
Hello. How you doing, mate?
Hey.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. Experimenting step by step.
I love the soundproof room you've got going on there, mate. I didn't know you had this set up. That's
No,
cool.
I'm in the co-work today, so it's
Okay,
yeah. On top of that,
yeah.
I don't have my extra screens and all that, so there's this light here. Yeah, it's lots of fun doing different things and living the nomad life type of thing. And you about yourself? London,
Yes.
as usual.
Yeah, in London as usual. So, I mean, my day job is running a development agency in London, and Cardano is my passion. So, yeah, whenever I join calls, I'm quite often in London. I either just met a client or just meeting with someone. So, that's where I find myself these days.
Okay. Great stuff. Everyone's doing a number of things. I was reaching out to some other community leads. They were saying, "Oh, yeah, my day job is really needing attention and all that." So, yeah. We also have Baudouin. Welcome, Baudouin. On the next call, we spoke a bit of French and a bit of English. You can use whatever language you prefer, and I'll summarize if you want. I hope you're okay to say hi. Salut, Baudouin. Maybe not yet. Okay, so as lives go, I'm just allowing some time for more guests to join. And if anyone is watching us that wants to come up, please DM the 45B account on X. And I think Baudouin was having some connectivity issues. He just dropped off. So yeah, I was saying, if you want to come up, just DM us on X, the 45B Cardano enablement account, and you can come up and share your views. We have a number of things to go over, but the priority is to talk with people and to have a meeting space. So yeah, don't hesitate to reach out and come say hi, come and share what your view is about this initiative and what we mean to do. Okay.
Maybe
so,
I could. One thing I want to say, in light of the budget conversations and everything that's going on, we find ourselves in a situation where Intersect hasn't got certain fundings for certain initiatives that, from my perspective at least, I was hoping kind of would go through, like the hubs, for example.
Yeah.
And I very much see what you're doing here with 45B as kind of a alternative pathway to achieve similar goals. So yeah, if you've got 2 cents on that just to kick off the conversation. Yeah.
Well, yeah, funded proposals and not funded budget proposals is one of the topics in the agenda. But overall, I can start by saying that, as you can see, this is very experimental, and the goal is not to be, trying to compete. It's more to collaborate and to complement what they have been doing or haven't been doing. So I've always advocated for having an online hub type of thing, and regardless of if it fits in the format or if it in the budget or something like that, I'm just going to do at least the minimum version that we can, and try to help the community where we can, and hopefully be not the centralizing point, but a example of a pilot thing that works with few communities, and that can be replicated on other sets of, let's say. So we have two more people. Maybe we can have a word from Baudouin now. Salut Baudouin.
Oui, salut Monsieur Lucas. Je m'excuse, j'ai eu une interruption de connexion. Salut.
Okay.
Oui.
So Baudouin is just saying he had some connection issues. Baudouin, can you tell us a bit about you in English as well? Very summarized, and because you were on the previous call, and I'm going to continue to summarize that on our board. But do you just want to say hi and share where you're coming from, what you do?
Okay. Thank you for the flow. I'm Baudouin Muvunga from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I live near the Goma town. And we are an organization which is works with Cardano in many objectives and other partners like Lucas, like Ulysses. So I think I can stop there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good intro. Thank you so much. I'm also going to make use of the time to bring up Shukuru. And I don't think we've met yet, Shukuru. So welcome and nice to have you here. Could you also let us know a bit what community you're coming from and what you do there?
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
I'm very sorry for my late.
No worries.
My name is Shukuru Honore from DRC in Goma town. I'm from the Goma Youth Startup. I'm the team leader, and I am the member of Goma Tech Pool. Thank you.
Okay, so you work closely with Boaz, no?
Yes, I know very well Boaz.
Okay. I was asking Baudouin just now if you can DM him the StreamYard link, or if there's anyone that's trying to come up,
Sure.
Please help us in sharing that link. And I'm going to start sharing my screen as well, just to start introducing even the viewers to our initiative a bit further. I'm going to leave you on stage, so you can talk anytime, jump in. So just to close this one. Yeah, so again, this is the tweet that we were promoting from yesterday. Actually, it was a very, we asked some members that already know what we've been doing, and we decided on this timing. So hopefully our next call is going to be a bit more in advance, promoted in advance. I'm also going to share this to, I think it's going to go to YouTube and to X, or maybe at least to YouTube. So if you can help us in sharing this initiative, we would appreciate that. Let me just check a bit here. The comments, no other comments. Like I said, if you just joined us, we're an open floor in terms of facilitating communities to share knowledge and know-how, especially community leads in Cardano. And if you want to come on stage, just DM us and we'll be happy to send you the StreamYard link. Actually, I'm actually going to drop it on the YouTube comments as well. So we have let me see if I have it here. There we go. So there is a Luma event that is the one linked on actually I don't need to, because it's the one linked on the tweet that I just dropped, but I'm going to be a bit more explicit and drop it there as well. So if you're watching us on YouTube, now you have the Luma event, and from the description of the Luma event, you can find the StreamYard link to come and join us. Okay, so that's we spent a bit on introductions, and if you see anyone else, we have Boaz here as well, because sometimes I stop seeing who's left to come up on stage, and I just want to welcome Boaz. Can you say hi to us, Boaz? Are you okay with connection? Maybe not. it's interesting because since I started doing some onboarding for end users back in 2022, Boaz has been on and off, lurking and coming around, and he does great work on the ground as well. So it's really good to have him here supporting this initiative. Just going to go back to browsing and showing what I have to present. But like I said, if anyone wants to jump in, just talk and open your mic and jump in. Okay, so like I said, we made this quick event here on Luma. I got an interim logo now. I'm not sure anyone had. I didn't have time to ideate any of this with you guys, but so basically, instead of talking about the 45B Cardano Grassroots Support Initiative or something, I just called it GRIT, so it's Grassroots in Touch initiative. And I made this logo, which is actually something we're going to touch on because it's an application that ADASolar is doing, where it's a globe with all the pins, and that aligns a lot with what we want to do. We want to start by inventorying who's on the ground doing what, and identify people that want to share knowledge in these calls. So this one I can close, and just to fly over, this is the Miro board that supports everything we've been doing so far. And zooming out, we've had, maybe even to set the mood here, the goal for these calls is to be bilateral communication. So to have a lot of people contributing. I'm going to try to keep it very short in terms of recapping and flying over the board, and then we can jump into actions. So yeah, the goal is to have a purpose, keep a fast pace to things, and to be productive. And I ask everyone when speaking to be clear, concise, and concrete. I am available to help summarize from French, from Spanish, from Portuguese. So if you're more at ease speaking your mother tongue, I want that to be an enabler for anyone from any community. I was just talking with someone, maybe they can help us with German as well. And yeah, overall, let's find where we can collaborate. So that's the purpose here. In terms a bit more of a manifesto, what I wrote on this side and Mark on the very first call was a bit that this initiative contrasts a lot with the community hubs, because where community hubs is more top-down, assigning or attributing a continent to a project for them to be the community manager. We want to do it bottom up. We want to do it organically. We want to do it in an agile way. And I think I don't need to say much more. This Miro board is public. It's on the Luma event. So from here, by the way, if you want to engage a bit with us, you can see the tweet thread that I was just sharing. There's a lot to scroll up, and you see there. So this was a budget proposal, and I could show you here as well how we view things. So we believe, same thing I was just saying, we want to facilitate a bottoms-up environment. But I would invite you to take a look at this thread, because it shows a bit what we've been going over for the past month or so. Okay, so that introduces a bit what we aim to do. Over the past, let me see here. So this is some notes that I've started organizing. Let me know if you can see it okay on the screen. So yeah, we've had the first and second call where it was just me, Mark, Darlington from Lido Nation came by. We've also had then on the next call, Darlington and Josie coming by. The call we had very recently in April 30th, we had Baudouin and Nana and Boaz talking with us. So that was really interesting. I need to try to recap that because I only was able to record the audio. And today I expanded the realm a lot more. I reached out to a number of other people from other communities. But as you can see, it's very in the drafted mode, the notes, and just try to see who responds and who wants to come by. I thought we were going to have Alex from Vietnam, Peter is someone that's been in Swarm for ages, and it would be great to have him here. But we do with whoever is able to come by. I'm gonna add to the stage Martin as well. Martin, welcome. I'm not sure if you can say hi.
Hi everyone.
Can you tell us where you're coming from?
Yes, I'm Martin from Goma, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I saw this meeting on Twitter. I've been a little bit active within this, with you, Lucas, few years ago, and I saw this. I say that I should come around and see what's going on here. That's why I'm here.
Okay, great to have you here. As you say, we've crossed paths a couple of times already as well. So, very glad to have you here. Okay, so coming back to this, I was just saying, I've been expanding the realm of people that we invite. I've also started organizing these notes a bit further. This Google Sheet is available within the Miro board there. So from here, you can jump to it, even if you click here, I think, or not sure. Yeah, it's here. Go to source URL. So you can jump from here to the Google Sheet, and there's a list of people here that I'm reaching out to. I've also started organizing the communities that we've reached out so far. There's a number of others that we could populate in here. One person that I was having a chat with in Nairobi, Kenya last year is Mohammed Mustafa. I would love to reach out to this community, but for now I wasn't able to get his response. So yeah, that's where we are in terms of reaching out to people. And I think I'm taking a bit too much time on the board, so I think I'm gonna cut it a bit short. Just to finalize, this section of the board is a bit like the high-level goals, and with Mark and in the previous sessions, we've started ideating a bit what we could do and what we have done so far, and contrasting that a bit and finding common ground with the community hubs. So there's also this part here, which is sort of one item that we could do, which help audit a bit what some hubs have done, what they haven't done, and try to bring them to present and to align with broader communities, not just from within their hub. But yeah, that's just more sidetracking. Focusing on our own initiatives, there's this one here, which is about surveying globally. How much does it cost to organize a hackathon? So this was motivated by what was done by something that was being done for the GMC, the Growth and Marketing Committee. And I decided to run this survey to try to help gather insight, because I felt like they were just with very little diversity of providers and locations. And so, yeah, I'm going to drop this tweet on the chat. I think it's going to go to YouTube, and if you search for my tweets, you should be able to find it too. So that's one example of something we've done where it was really interesting. I'm not going to open the results for that now, but it yielded. We have a response here that I tweeted that has the results of this survey. And one initiative that we could do is put this out there more and try to gather more and groom the results of that. Other things that we could do in this initiative is to have like the people we have on the call today to come on calls and share their experience. We could, for example, this is one smaller, very specific thing, but as we saw just now, someone was lacking connectivity, and yeah, if we got that funding, especially from the Intersect or the Treasury budget, we could try to identify locations that we could benefit of with better connectivity. here, this is one of the main pillars, and this is something that what I'm doing here today, for example, experimenting with StreamYard, is something that sometimes I think CF hosts some roundtables in this format, and then I'm very happy to share this knowledge with other communities and get them more capacitated to do things themselves, to do this kind of format. We've also seen here we could do some sessions specific to some regions. This is other topics like articulating with real world digital communities that are not Web 2, and we could try to articulate from our initiative to them. This I've just mentioned in terms of the tooling, and this is one of the main points that I would like to introduce to you today. Not sure if you guys have any questions so far, any observations, any notes, any thoughts about what I've been sharing so far? Jump in.
Yeah, I've got a couple of bits to add, if that's cool.
Sure.
Yeah, so just off the back of the document sharing there and a bunch of other bits that we went through. So the reason, I'll focus on the reason that I'm here to get us going. So I run a stake pool and community in the UK, and we've been hosting events since 2021. But from our perspective, we predominantly got our funding through organisations like Cardano Foundation or Intersect for workshops in the throughout the governance era in particular. And when we're hosting the UK community-led summits, that's been through Cardano Foundation or IOG, depending on who has run those. So one concern that we've had this year is thanks for sharing the website. Since the budget has not been approved from Intersect, one concern we have is where do those budgets now come from for governance-led workshops? And I'm not particularly too worried about it right now, but I just want to build the connection there that initiatives like 45B have, very much build that bridge that this stuff can be community led and we don't necessarily have to rely on Intersect. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to get out of these discussions is we've all got our communities, we've all got our things that we've been doing, and in order to keep doing it, we need funding mechanisms. So what does that look like going forwards, and how can groups like this connect those dots? So that's why I'm here, and
So basically to share our challenges, right, and to try to find solutions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm just gonna change this tune. I think it's a bit repetitive already. There we go. Mark, I don't know what to tell you except for we don't know what's going to come out of the MCC Hubs initiative. Apparently, they've put things on hold for a week. They're going to come up with a contingency plan. I'm not sure how they're going to support the existing hub managers, if they're going to renew contracts or something like that. But like I said before, it's very much hiring and giving contracts away for the official governance events. If we were funded, we would have some tranches. I think just to illustrate a bit to what Mark is saying, if we break down the budget that we put through, so I'm not sure if people can read this, but there was a core coordination part. There were 2 types of online events and 1 IRL event that we would host, but then the rest of the budget was going to go to sponsor or support communities organizing their own things. I think we shouldn't just wait for the MCC hubs. Overall, I had it in the points for us to talk about today to, like you said, share the challenge that for some events we do need funding. I had it here, like alternative methods for funding of grassroots communities. I'm not really sure, but it's something that we literally could start opening up this note and dropping ideas in here, So we have Catalyst, we have the MCC somehow. the MCC hubs themselves still. Now we have, there's a Builder DAO, right? Can you think of anything else?
I don't know if it's applicable, but the Socius guys have funding mechanisms,
Yep.
which is important to me because I care about identity and having projects there. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay, we could try to find a link for this and for everything else. One thing that I always think of is getting donations from Wales or whatever, which is very similar to just getting support, sponsorship from CF or something like that. But I think eventually it would be great if we could start getting that kind of support from other entities. And another thing is something that touches a bit on the legal side of getting literally donations, so value for value type of thing. Oops. Or you could call this just selling tickets. You know, so this aligns a bit with the mentality of sustainable business, where you don't need to get all your budget from someone that funded you. You can, if you're giving value to the audience, that's why I use this terminology here, because it's going to be the audience that acknowledges the value of being there and gives back, you know. So we have some ideas here around this kind of self-funded, self-organized events, but it's more not so much turning outwards to the broader audience. It's more about builder, a bit like what happened in Argentina. You know, people meeting and organizing things between themselves, and if they get funding from the big entities, so the better. If not, you get it done anyway. So thanks for bringing us to this topic. If does anyone else want to share on what we've spoken so far? I see I have two people that dropped off. I'm going to add them back to the stage, and let me just check our internal chat. Okay, Mark, if you I saw comments here that you wanted to talk, but if you want at any point, just jump in. So yeah, I'm just going to manage time. We have 25 minutes more, and I'm actually going to, so we've seen a bit what the structure is of this document. I'm just going to zoom out a bit. So here we have our high-level goals, and here we have some actionables. But today I sort of ignored the high level in this, and I just picked some low-hanging fruit as well that I wanted to take you over. So we've spoken a bit about the goal of this initiative. We've seen who participated so far, recap. We've done the quick intros, and that's it. One point that aligns a bit with what Mark was saying. So on the back of what just happened in terms of proposals and not being funded, we have our own proposal that wasn't funded. We have this one, which I think is very interesting. My computer is just dragging a bit. Let me just switch it to turbo mode. So which one is this? By the way, I'm using Unpopular L's tool because I think it's great. So yeah, so this proposal is a lot relating with what Laurentine is doing, and Boaz and the guys in Congo with the Francophone side. And I just wanted us to have a space to gather these proposals and learn from them, know that they exist. So if you could help me in, for example, I'm going to drop this on the chat as well, both on the internal one and on the external one, and for YouTube. So on this proposal exploration tool that Unpopular L built, if we could find more communities that try to get funding and failed, we can try to reach out to them and invite them to at least share the pain of it, like Mark was saying, to come to this space and talk about alternatives. Okay, so this is one. The first one was ours from 45B, like I've mentioned. Then we have this one, which is interesting as well. I did message Kitwillow. I couldn't get an answer from him on short notice. I noticed this one has a bit more votes, and I would love to understand a bit, not just what they aim to do, but very much I would love to see what they mean to do. Not that they know that they weren't funded. What's the actual thing that they are still going to deliver or do spontaneously. So to gather a bit more on this, what I've done is on the Google Sheet that I mentioned before, I created this tab here. It's still completely empty. I'm not going to do it on the call, or I could do a very basic version of starting to load data into it. But let me just bear with me a second. So I'm just going to open these four and copy them, their titles and links, and drop them in here. And you can, I would ask you guys to help me in, sorry, the titles didn't come through. I'm going to get the titles later. And sorry, it's completely useless, this part, the way it copied it. But yeah, I'm going to transpose these proposals onto here, try to reach out to these people and understand how they're going to be dealing with what happened with the funding. Any thoughts there? Any other one that you know by heart that I might be missing? The pavilions one got passed, but that was good and could help some communities and some projects. I'm very curious to keep in touch with Dave about that one. Mark, do you know, are you going to be participating as an applicant to the sort of grants that he's going to be giving away with Discover Cardano?
Possibly. From our perspective, like, we represent the UK community, and I feel like Dave's proposal is more for fit for projects who aim to attack the world, so like DAOs and, you know, general use projects. So I don't think that's appropriate for me so much. But
Sorry, I lost you there.
This proposal did. There was one 2 months ago. We went up to Langham in the UK, met up with like Lally from Intersect and Clay Nation and a few other bits. So he does those smaller events, but I won't apply for funding from through his proposal. I think it's more appropriate for projects. Whereas a community lead, I need funding for governance workshops, making sure the UK community has a base to stay connected in person. And his proposal doesn't answer that. But yeah. Great proposal still from Dave, though, and necessary. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to make a note here. So you're basically looking for governance, workshops, and having...
I guess you'd call them... Well, I guess you'd call them general community general community events. I'm not sure what to phrase it as, but you need a consistent voice in whatever community you're in, and you need to be present every few months or every few weeks, whatever the temperament of your local community has, right? So that's where we try to fit. And in the UK, we need to have events every few months to ensure that, well, at least from my perspective, ensure
keep
that
connections alive, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks again for jumping in with steering things, because there's a lot of connection points with what I do here. Literally, I'm in a co-work today. I love coming from my hometown. It's just under 1 hour away from Lisbon, and we've done some organic meetups. I've done I've participated in the Cardano Summit 2023. I've helped organize mostly everything about the 2024 with the guests, the panels, the space, everything. And I would be very curious to see now talk with co-works spaces locally and start having regular meetups, and maybe going from there to monthly type of presentation, because there's a lot of Web3. I'm curious to go to London actually as well, Mark, because it's not that far, and I know it by heart quite well. So I'm curious to see how it moves in London. But around here, we have a lot of people that. Sorry, I just realized my image is. Maybe I can move it down. There we go. Now at least people can see me. So I was saying, curious to see how you could explore in London co-works and Web3, the Web3 scene to leverage that and get Cardano into more events that are cross-chain. And here, I know them already. I know a lot of spaces, and I would be curious to continue to talk with co-works. But often, if you just have a community of people that come to use the co-work, the meetup happens spontaneously, you see. So it's just a matter of nurturing the relationships on site, a bit like you were saying. Can you tell us a bit how you do that with the people that are around London? Do you keep like a newsletter? How do you, if you now had a new event, how would you reach out and let them know about it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, so traditionally, from my angle, you know, I've in the UK at least, I've operated very much on word of mouth operations. So might sound crazy, but I've run a web development agency for the past 12 years in the UK, and this we're not the best at leveraging socials. Anyway, the point is, so I leverage those existing communities to try and onboard them into this world of Web3. We very much learned the lesson. We need to expand that into the world of socials. But so for specific examples, like I partake in the UK's beekeeping charity organisations. It's called the British Beekeepers Association. Okay. And we've been helping them with their governance and their charity setups for a number of years. And so from my angle is like I always try to leverage those relationships that I built up over a long time and then bring Cardano into those. And the parodies are perfect because like if I'm like within these communities in the BBKA, for example, we have to vote on implementations of a new product, for example, or like where funding should be spent, for example. And a lot of those mechanisms right now are very Web 2 orientated, you know, traditional. And so I've been struggling for a while, and that's why I mentioned Socius earlier, because I've been chatting with those guys since last year in Argentina when I met them on how I can do identity solutions for these type of guys. So point being is that's how Upstream kind of brings traditional relationships into this Web3 world. Like we're not like social media gurus, we're not like influencers, but we are very much involved in the communities we are in, and those communities respect our opinions. So now I'm educating these guys on, well, we can do all of this governance transaction and use a blockchain, and it has these XYZ advantages. And so from my perception, that's how we very much bring or try to bridge the Web 2 world to the Web 3 world. So in the summer, in 2 months' time, we're going to host a UK, not sure what yet to call it, but an event that I've invited, like the BBKA and some other clients, a few other examples that I won't mention here to bore you, but I can share. Invite those down to this event, and all we do is a couple of drinks and discuss what can blockchain offer you. And obviously from our perspective, blockchain being Cardano, that's kind of how we that's our thing. So that's how we plan to do it this year. Like we've been heavily involved in the community. We've got our own Web 2 worlds that we want to bridge the gap on, that we're very familiar with. So we're going to bridge the gaps from what we're familiar with and experts in on both sides. I'm not going to answer the world's problems. I'm not going to fix hunger. Wish I could, but I can't. But I can enable UK small businesses and genuine, like, how can you use blockchain right now at a cost that is not already more than what you're doing, for example. So that's how we're approaching it. Yeah.
The good old think global, act local. You know, I was checking into the co-work here this morning, and people ask, what do you do? And I say, I help onboard people to Bitcoin and Web3, and people, you know, start asking me about investments and get rich schemes. And I say, it's not that. You can take payments in Bitcoin. You can have, you know, collectibles in NFTs and things like those in Cardano. And so yeah, what I was making a note here for 45B is a bit what I was just mentioning, and exactly like you were saying, talk about blockchain over drinks. The place where where I'm staying right now could be taking payments in Bitcoin and in ADA, or we could at least get them closer to that understanding, because that's another thing that I put on the proposal. If we go back to it, somewhere here, I mentioned that because the 45B Grassroots Communities Initiative is a bit, in my case, I'm looking to onboard small and medium businesses and sell training courses for them, or provide the course that Catalyst funded. So we have a span of reaching sort of like more small business customers, where they just want to learn. They still need to learn what Bitcoin and Cardano are, what Web3 is, and then you have the community side, like the guys from Goma that are incorporating the Web3 thing into the touristical visits. I'm not sure if anyone on the call wants to jump in and just mention that. Can anyone talk a bit about that? I know that you guys take the tourists to see things, and then how does that work? Anyone?
So I don't know if you can hear me right now.
Yeah, perfectly. It's all good.
Great, thank you. I'm a little bit late. I've been in the traffic road, so I couldn't be here on time.
No problem.
We are holding the Web3 onboarding program in Goma since 2021, I can say. And we are trying to train in Web3 and blockchain to show to youth how this can impact on our community and solve our local problems here, giving technology solutions. So beside that, we are trying to show also opportunities around the blockchain and how things are going globally. Yeah, it's how things are working here in Goma. So I can say like that. Martin is here. He's in charge of the program. I don't know if he has something to add on that. Martin, can you say something?
Yes, boss, you almost said it. We have been mostly engaged with community building, and we onboard whether students or business owners what Web3 and blockchain is, and how, or in real life, they can leverage that in their respective field of activities. We have been doing this since our introduction into this area, and we believe that really technology has the potential to bring solutions to what we are facing as problems, whether regarding environments or regarding businesses, or whether corruption and so on. So that's it. That's what we are doing on the grounds. We almost do it every month. For example, for the last month, we had about 30 young people taking part to that program. And for this month, we are also planning to have another cohort and still do the same thing, bring people to the Web3 ecosystem and show its potential to give solutions and all the things around here. That's it.
Yeah. Congratulations.
It's how things work here in our town and DRC in general. we are having more than 800 people onboarded already since we began, and we are taking all categories of people: developers, entrepreneurs, businessmen, and students are inside these cohorts we are handling. Yeah, thank you.
Guys, can you tell a bit? I'm not sure. I feel like you're connected with this proposal as well, right? This one is more led by Laurentine,
Yeah,
maybe.
right.
So
I
was just asking before that I'm curious to help do this assessment of all other community proposals that weren't funded, and ask them, now that you were not funded, how are you going to continue? Are you going to do it anyway? 100%, 10%, just a few initiatives of this? Can you talk a bit about that, or?
Martin? So
Martin?
we've been handling the program without funding, even though some people in the community try to support the program, but we almost try to do this by ourselves. It's not easy, really, but we would like our community not to be left, even though we have sometimes skills or lessons that are not tech. We are trying to onboard them in non-tech, and this it's on our church, because we don't want our youth to be left behind. Yeah, it's how it works. So we would like to be funded so that we may expand the program to the whole community at the same time, and not lose the time. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for sharing a bit. I'm just conscious of time. It was good, and again, if you guys can help me, from the Miro board, you have the link to the Google Sheet, and from the Google Sheet, there's this budget proposals sheet where I'm going to try to gather more and do some sort of summarization of what you guys are going to do or not. So if you want to throw more of these proposals into that sheet, really appreciate it. I'm going to try to find who was doing this one. But yeah, in terms of time, we don't have much more today, like 10 minutes or something. And I still wanted to cover one specific thing, at least from here, which is... yeah, so this one we can leave for next time. So talking about where communities have resources. You often neglect the Cardano forum, and maybe on the next call we can explore a bit more this part. The main thing that I wanted to reach out to you about is this one. So our tentative sort of logo for this initiative, which is that little globe, is coming from this project that ADASolar started. I can't keep it up on screen very long because it's a bit heavy, but I love how the guys were able to create a system that's not just, in my case, a Google Sheet, an ugly Google Sheet. So they were able to hack this together, and it's real data already. And I just need to, one thing I can try to give them feedback is that the rotation doesn't really help when you're starting to try to click things. So you have here people that are ambassadors. This one, this is Yoda, right? I think Cardano Yoda. And yeah, I need to explore a bit more. But I was looking to, on this tab of our sheet that is about communities and organizations, make an assessment of the ones we know already, even from the other survey that we did, to try to drop them in here, and then gradually create a column structure that matches with what the guys need, so that we can make sure that, for example, if you go to Goma here, I'm not sure everything is well represented. We have one person. Do you know this person? Jeremiah Bani?
From Ghana.
Yeah, so he's the only person on here. Then There's one person here. I'm not sure if this is this placed in the right GPS coordinate.
Yeah, Dan Kinshasa, even though he's in Kenya for the moment.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, does this make sense that we would try to contribute to this project? So this one is by ADASolar, and we would try to gather data to send to him. For now, it's a free format list of communities, and eventually we'd need to mature the data structure. Does that make sense to everyone? Mark, can you help on this eventually?
Sorry, my connection's been a bit bad, so you were dropping in and out then.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. I was just sharing this map that ADASolar built, where we can drop, where they are representing a lot of communities that are around the globe. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I can see that. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, I don't know how they got. He seems to have gotten the list of ambassadors, for example. There's a lot of them around the globe, but the challenge would be that from the communities that we've started involving in the 45B Grassroots in Touch initiative, we would start trying to format each of these into a format that fits ADASolar's globe. So for now it's free format, but eventually we would have exactly the columns with the GPS and everything, so we can feed this data to them.
Yeah, if we can reach out to that, well, I can reach out to them, same as you.
Yeah, I'm in touch with him. Yeah.
Ask them what the format is.
Yeah, so, JSON or something.
Yeah, just in my perspective, it just needs to be a JSON format that's hosted on IPFS, and it just makes it easy for me to render that same data on a globe or a map or whatever. Like if you go to my website, for example, we have Google Maps rendering stuff and not a globe. So if you go to community and then go to, that's it, click on that one. Okay. So this is all loaded on a JSON file that's on GitHub. Yeah, so and that has all of the workshops and stuff and information.
Oh, sorry. Can you guys still see?
Yeah, I can still see.
Yeah, I just maximized the full screen. I'm not sure if
it's working all right, bud. Yeah, it's working good.
Cool.
So yeah, as long as I just hope whatever system they built, as long as I can then build my UI off of their data, that's the only thing that matters. So we'll check their JSON format, and we can use their globe or render it on your site or my site or all of our sites.
I feel like both you guys already have a rendering engine, and if we make sure we have a translation and an integration type of thing, or something that we can run from time to time to synchronize from both sides, we can enrich both maps.
Yeah, exactly, man. Perfect. Yeah.
Cool. Connecting the dots. Great. That's the concept.
Yeah, for sure.
I wasn't aware. It's great that you came by with this one, because I wasn't aware that this already exists. And by the way, everyone in Cardano is talking about Bitcoin nowadays, and I've always been a Bitcoiner. To have btcmap.org, that is something to look at as well in terms of inspiration for what you've done there, and for Jose from ADASolar. But this one is trickier, and maybe eventually, I even had one Catalyst proposal that was about redoing this on Cardano, because what the guys do here is, like, any merchant can get listed. They pay in Lightning, in sats, and they have their record there saying, okay, I take Bitcoin Lightning, I don't take on chain, and there's a contactless thing. And so I'm not sure, Mark, did you know this one?
No, I don't, but ultimately it's the same principle. It's just a map rendering data, and as long as the data is open source, i.e. pinned to IPFS as a JSON file, because we don't yet have decentralized databases. When we do, awesome. But until then, we use JSON files. So I just hope that the data source is open source. That's the key.
Yeah. So the main difference here is that when we get to the merchants, you have this big number of things, and you can get to explore globally where things are. So to see here, for example, in Barcelona, it's crazy. Madrid, there's a bit, and I find it very interesting that in the north of Italy, for example, there's a lot of hubs, hotspots for places taking Bitcoin. So yeah, it's a lovely inspiration for us in Cardano to try to derive from. Okay, that was the main thing that I knew I wanted to mention on today's call. Let me just have a look at what other notes I had here. So we spoke of the unfunded proposals. Let's keep this one for the next call. This one is really cool. It was a great discussion. This one as well. Let's maybe I'll do a sheet. It's like for the man with a hammer, everything is a nail, right? And my hammer is Google Sheets. So I'm going to try to make a list of these things and try to see how we have experimented with them. Maybe we can exchange our experiences, or maybe, for example, if you talk with Socius, I can take the lead and I don't know, other ways of doing it. Yeah, in terms of I want, maybe it's a good way to close, to ask you, what do you think of this way the call went today? And actually, I have Emmanuel here. I'm going to add him to the stage. Welcome. We're just closing, Emmanuel. But question to everyone in the room: how do you feel about the logo, the concept, the grit? Grit means, persistence, and so I felt like it was a nice joining of the initials of Grassroots in Touch. So it's a short name for the initiative. Any feedback on all this?
Good. Unfortunately, in this, I don't know if it's a site. There is no how to put a hand up, so we have to jump to jump in.
Yes.
I would like to comment on all this. Unfortunately, what I want for the moment is a catch up because of I couldn't hear really from the beginning. Is it possible?
Yes, of course. So this call, you're seeing us because you're on stage, you're seeing us on StreamYard, which is the tool that we use. And like I said, we're happy to help any community to learn to get more familiar with it. But this is being live streamed to YouTube and I hope as well to X. So it's already there. And maybe, do you see the private chat on the right side of your window? So I'm just going to open the YouTube link and I'm going to drop that in there. That way you can just click it and do the recap, see it from the beginning. Okay? You see the message I just sent on the private chat?
Already.
Okay. Cool. Guys, that's it for today. I'm really curious about more feedback. Any ideas for next topics on the next calls?
From my perception, the branding and stuff's looking great. I think it hits home, so good work on that, mate. From my perspective, I would love to approach the budgeting discussions in a bit more like detail. So like how the practical steps to getting funding, if Intersect's funded, if not, and XYZ and all this stuff. But yeah, that's for next time. But yeah, I think this is a great space and conversation platform for grassroots community members. So I'm hoping we can get more people joining next time.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
I think maybe let's do the next one on Wednesday. Someone was asking about 11 a.m. for our time zone. I'm not sure. Guys, can we agree like next Wednesday at, 11 UTC? Is that okay?
That's good for me.
Does anyone have objections for next Wednesday at 11 UTC? Okay. What I'll do to contrast with this one that was only published in 24 hours notice, I'm going to create the other one tomorrow. It's going to be up for a few days. So let's meet next Wednesday at 11 UTC, and hopefully we'll have more people joining us. Okay. Thank you for your time, and reach out if you want to discuss anything about this. Okay.
Yes.
Ciao, guys. Any
Thanks,
last
everyone.
thoughts from anyone?
Just a thanks for doing the space, mate, and look forward to the next one.
Cool. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Lucas, and everyone.
Good. Merci beaucoup pour aujourd'hui. Merci pour les partages et le point de vue.
À la prochaine. Quelquefois, on fait tout en français, and then we can also do it in Portuguese and whatever. So there's a lot of Spanish people.
Merci.
It's going to be interesting if we start having more multilingual calls. Okay, guys, switching off. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you.